So let's see today's lovely recipe of Goan prawn and bhendi kaldin. Let's go through the ingredients. Here I have 1 teaspoon of pepper powder, half a teaspoon of cumin powder, 1 teaspoon of coriander powder and half a teaspoon of turmeric or haldi powder. 1 medium onion chopped fine, 1 small tomato chopped fine, half a cup of prawns and 4 bhendis or ladyfingers, 7 to 8 cloves of lavang and 5 cloves of garlic chopped fine, 1 tablespoon of vinegar and 1 cup of thick coconut milk, some salt to taste. So those are all the ingredients that we need. Now I'm going to add about 1 tablespoon of oil to a pan. So while the oil is getting nice and hot, I'm going to mix all of these powder masalas well together. And then I'm going to add the vinegar to the powder masalas and mix everything to make a nice thick paste. Now we want the oil to be nice and hot, so on a low to medium flame I'm going to heat the oil up. And like I said, I'm going to add this vinegar to the masalas and I'm going to mix them well till they become a nice paste. So this is a very refreshing light curry and it goes best with some lovely rice. So that's done. And now that our oil is hot, I'm going to add the cloves or the lavangs. I'm going to fry them a bit so that they flavor the oil really well. And now I'm going to add the chopped up garlic. Now it's always very handy that, if you peel some garlic and keep it in a small airtight container in your refrigerator so that you don't need to, sit and last minute, clean up and peel up garlic. Now I'm going to add some chopped onion and saute it well. We're going to fry this onion till it becomes nice and translucent. So this curry, if you haven't tried out this Goan kaldin curry, you should because it's really, really delicious. Now I'm going to add this mix powder paste of pepper, coriander, cumin and turmeric. Now I'll leave the video link of how I prepare my powder masalas at home, that is for coriander, pepper and cumin, how I prepare my powders masalas at home. I'll leave a link to my video. Now I'm going to add the coconut milk and we're going to mix all of this really, really well. Well, already my kitchen has such a beautiful, the aroma of this kaldin is really, really it's very mild, but it's really very nice. Now I'm just going to flavor it with some salt to taste. And this kaldin gets ready also pretty quickly, as you will see. Now I'm going to add the prawns. Now the quantity that I'm making is just enough for 2 people. So if you want to make it for 4, then just double the quantity. Then I'm going to add the tomatoes. And we're going to mix everything nicely well together. Cook on a low to medium heat, stirring in between. And now I'm going to add these lady fingers that I've just, cut off the top, the tips, and I'm adding it to the curry. And now we're just going to cover and cook this for about 7 to 8 minutes so that the prawns as well as the lady fingers or the bhendi gets cooked. So on a low to medium heat, on a very low heat actually, just cook it for about 7 minutes. Now you'll see that the curry has really thickened up, or the kaldin has thickened up. So we're going to add about 1/4 cup of water. We don't want it to be very watery like a stew, but we have to have a little bit of thickish consistency. So I'm just going with about 1/4 cup of water. So add that and then mix everything or stir everything well. Now I also have another recipe for a fish kaldin, so I'll leave the link for that also below so you can go and check it out. And again I'm going to cover and just cook this for about 2 minutes so that everything comes together. And then we're just going to turn off the heat and our kaldin is all ready. This is super, super delicious, guys, and the aroma also is so beautiful. So give this a try and let me know in the comment section as to how you like it. Don't forget to go and check out my blog. I'll leave a link to that below. I'll leave a link to this fish.
Hi everyone, and thanks for joining me on Akshata's recipes today. So today I'm going to be sharing with you a Goan Ambotik recipe. Now I'm going to be using mori or shark fish, but you can also use prawns for this recipe. This is super delicious, and the best part about it is that the longer you keep it, the taste even much better. So I hope you like today's recipe, and I hope you give it a try. So without much further ado, let's just jump straight ahead into the recipe.
So now we're going to prepare the masala. I'm using 10 Kashmiri dried chilies, 5 cloves of garlic, an inch of ginger. Here I have about 1 tablespoon of tamarind and 1 tablespoon each of coriander, haldi, pepper and cumin powder. Here I have about 1/4 cup of vinegar. Now we're just going to grind all of this using the vinegar to a very fine paste. We're not going to use any water when we're grinding this masala. So once our paste is ready, now we can prepare our ambotik. Now I'm just using 2 medium-sized shark fish or mori fish which have been deep skinned and cleaned and cut into these type of pieces. I'm just applying about 2 tablespoons of salt, and we're just going to keep it aside for about 10 to 15 minutes. And then we're going to rinse off all the water once it has marinated for about 15 minutes and clean off all the water. Now we're going to eat about 2 tablespoons of oil in a pan. I'm just going to fry some garlic cloves and ginger and some onion. We're going to fry this till the onion turns a little bit translucent. Now once our onion is nice and translucent, which takes about 2 to 3 minutes, we're just going to add this masala paste that we have ground, and we're going to fry the masala along with our ginger, garlic and onion. Now this is a super simple and very easy recipe. You can also prepare this paste and just keep it in your refrigerator, and whenever you feel like making ambotik, you can just use it. Then we're just going to add about a cup of water and let the water come to a boil. And then we're going to add our fish and cook it, and we're going to add some salt to taste too. Now we're going to cook this on a low to medium flame till our fish is nice and cooked. It turns from a pinkish color to a white color, and you can also just poke it with a spoon or a fork to just see that it's cooked. So this is our ambotik. It's all ready. Now today I'm also going to share with you a very quick masala fried prawns. It's super simple and super easy. This is such an it can be used as a starter. You can just have it with dal and rice or sorak and rice or ambotik and rice. It just goes well with everything. So it's a super simple recipe and a very quick recipe too. Now here I'm just using about 1 cup of prawns which have been deveined, cleansed and washed very well. It's very important that you devein your prawns, because otherwise it could lead to a tummy upset. So that's a very key important factor whenever you're using prawns. Then I'm just going to put about 1 teaspoon of salt, and I'm going to mix it very well. We're going to mix all the prawns well with the salt, or you can just add salt to taste. Then I'm also going to add about 1 teaspoon of turmeric powder or haldi powder. We're going to mix everything well, ensuring that all the prawns have been coated well with this haldi powder. And then we're going to add about 1 teaspoon of red chili powder, or to taste. Now we like our food very spicy, so I've gone with 1 teaspoon, but you can always use 1/4 or just a little bit depending upon how how much of spiciness you can tolerate. And then we're just going to keep this aside for some time, and then when we're ready to fry, we're just going to dust it with about 2 tablespoons of rice flour. We're going to mix all of them well because we want all of them to be coated very well with the rice flour. Now what the rice flour does is it makes it very nice and crispy, and I've also added about 1 teaspoon of fine semolina or rava. That adds a lovely crispy feeling, a lovely crispy taste rather, to the prawns. Now I've just heated about 2 tablespoons of oil in a frying pan, and we're just going to fry them till they're nice and golden brown on both sides. Now always fry them on a low to medium flame. Never heat up your pan or your oil to a smoky consistency or a smoky, your oil should not be smoking hot. It should be just at the right temperature. And once they're done on one side, you just flip them over and fry them on the other side too. So this is such a simple dish, a very easy dish, and it's really super delicious. You don't have to add a lot of other spices and stuff to this, because then the whole flavor of the prawns just go away. So I hope you like today's 2 recipes, and I hope you give them a try. Do let me know in the comment section below how you like today's recipes. So let's start with the ingredients for this lovely curry. Now here I have 1 small raw mango or kairi, which I've just cut up into small pieces, 4 dried red chilies, 1 small onion that I've sliced fine, 2 green chilies that I've cut into halves. This is half a cup of fresh coconut milk, but you can also use freshly grated coconut, 1 tablespoon of coriander seeds, 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds, half a teaspoon of peppercorns, half a cup of cleaned and deveined prawns, 4 cloves of garlic chopped fine. Now all these ingredients will be in the description box below. Now I'm going to add my dried red chilies, cumin seeds, coriander seeds, peppercorns, and a little bit of the coconut milk. Now if you're using freshly grated coconut, then you can add the entire half cup of freshly grated coconut. I like the flavor of coconut milk in my prawn curry rather than using fresh coconut. Sometimes I do use fresh coconut also. Now we're just going to grind this to a nice smooth paste. We're going to add our garlic cloves and a little more of the coconut milk. Now if you have added fresh coconut, that's, you just add it once, the entire thing, and you get a paste like this. So this is the masala water which we wash the mixer with, and a little bit of the coconut milk that is there. Now I'm just going to add half a teaspoon of haldi powder, turmeric powder. I don't like adding my turmeric powder to my mixer because it discolors the mixer pot, the cover of the mixer pot. So I always add my haldi powder later on and mix it well with the masala. So now I'm going to heat my pot. Now this is my traditional Goan mud pot, which I love to make my fish curries in, or my sorak in. I'll leave a link to all my Goan recipes down in the description box below. There are many of them, so you can go and check it out. Now once the pot is nice and heated up, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of oil. Once the oil is nice and hot, I'm going to add my green chilies, which I've cut into halves, and my onion. Now I like to work with light green chilies because they're not very spicy. Now just bagar this nicely till the onions and the chilies get nicely fried. Now we're going to add our masala paste that we ground. Now you can also, instead of the dried red chilies, you can also use the Goa red chilies that you get, which is very difficult to get here in Bombay or Mumbai. So I'm substituting it with, Kashmiri red chilies. Now fry the paste well. When I go to Goa, I try to stock up on all the lovely Goan ingredients that you get only especially in Goa, like the Goa jaggery. I mean, you do get it in Bombay too, but I like, when I go to Goa, I like to stock up on all of the stuff that you the authentic stuff that you get in Goa. So now I'm going to fry this masala paste, and I'm going to add the masala water and just stir everything nicely. So you can add how much ever water you want depending on how thick you want this curry. Now I have a little bit of the coconut milk left, so I'm just going to add that too. I like the lightness of the coconut milk over fresh coconut for some reason, and then some water because I wanted a little more water required, but you can adjust it as per your liking. And now we're going to add the kairi or the raw mango. Now, generally, if you don't have, generally we add tamarind, like in sorak, we add the tamarind pulp or the tamarind water. But now, since I'm adding, the raw mango, if I add tamarind, then it will become extremely sour. But of course, if you like the taste of tamarind, you can go ahead and add a little more tamarind water. But I guess this curry really, sours up the curry so well that you don't need to add tamarind. Now I'm just going to flavor it with some salt to taste. Stir in the salt well. And like I was saying, down in the description box below, which is just below this video, I'm going to list down all my Goan recipes. Now I'm going to add the prawns, mix it in well, and now we're going to stir everything and just let it simmer for about 8 to 10 minutes on a low flame till everything cooks really, really well. Like I remember my grandmother, we used to have this fire, cook on the fire, and she used to simmer the curries on a very low fire for a long time, and it used to really make the curries beautiful. And now you have the beautiful taste of the prawns and the raw mango, which is just divine. And the longer you keep So friends, let's start with today's lovely prawn chili fry recipe. Now I'm going to be using 1 cup of prawns, which I've cleaned, deveined, 1 medium onion chopped fine, about 1 inch of ginger chopped fine, about 4 cloves of garlic chopped fine, 2 green chilies cut into fours, 1 tomato cut fine, and half a cup of coriander. Also, I'm going to use some haldi powder, some chili powder, and some salt. Now, all the ingredients with their measurements will be in the description box below. So, I'm just going to marinate the prawns with some turmeric or haldi powder, some red chili powder, and some salt, and I'm going to mix it really well, and I'm going to set this aside for about 10 minutes so that the prawns get nicely flavored with the spices and the salt. So after 10 minutes, our prawns are ready to be used. So now I'm going to heat 1 tablespoon of oil in a pan, and once the oil is nice and hot, I'm going to add these prawns to the oil, and I'm going to fry them really well on a low to medium flame. So this should take you not more than a minute or two, because prawns really get cooked really fast and fry also very fast. So once they're ready, just take them out in a bowl and set them aside. I'm not using the very large size prawns. These are the between small and medium sized prawns. They are full of flavor and they just taste amazing. Now in the same pan, I'm going to add, these are the prawns that I've set aside. So the oil is nice and hot. So to the same pan, I'm going to add my chopped up garlic. Then I'm going to add the chopped up ginger. Next, I'm going to add the green chilies. Now I always like to use light green chilies, and I've cut them up into fours because they're less spicy yet they're full of flavor. Now I'm going to fry all of this well till the rawness of the ginger, the garlic goes away. So this should take you about half a minute. You'll get the lovely aroma of the ginger and the garlic and the green chilies. Now once that is done, I'm going to add my chopped up onion. So I've taken a medium sized onion, and I'm going to add that, and I'm going to fry the onion till it turns a little bit translucent. And once it does, I'm going to just cover and cook it for about a minute. Now saute everything well. Now I'm going to add my chopped up tomato. So I've just taken one medium sized tomato and cut it up, and I'm going to add that. Then I'm going to add a little bit of the coriander that we chopped, because it really adds a lovely flavor to this bagar. Next, I'm going to add about 1/4 teaspoon of haldi powder. Now, we already marinated the prawns with, 1/4 teaspoon of haldi powder. And I'm going to add that, and I'm going to also add a pinch of red chili powder. Because the haldi powder, when you add it to the bagar, it adds a lovely color. And the chili powder also makes it a little bit spicy. Not over the top spicy. And again, we're going to cover and cook this for another minute, because we want our tomatoes to be nice and cooked. And now everything looks great. So now we're just going to add our fried prawns. The aroma in my kitchen is just unbelievable, and it makes me so hungry. I just can't wait for this to get ready. So now just add the prawns and just fry everything together so that everything, gets well incorporated together. Well, I love to have this prawn chili fry just with some plain chapatis, Goan chapatis. I have a recipe for that. I'll link it below. Or you can have this with some sorak, rice, with some lovely mango pickle at the side. So I'll link all those recipes down. So if you want to go and make sorak, you want to make a mango pickle, you can, do that. And now I'm just going to turn off the heat, and I'm just going to add the remaining coriander. Now this coriander also adds a lovely, lovely flavor to this chili fry. And that's it, guys. This chili fry is all ready. And it tastes just amazing. So if you haven't ever had Goan chili fry, prawn chili fry, then you have to give this recipe a try. Do let me know in the comments section below how you like this recipe. I love hearing from all of you, and I reply to almost everyone. So I'll catch you soon in my next video. Bye. So these are all the ingredients that we will require for the kaldin. Now here I have about 250 grams of basa fillets that I've cut into equal size pieces. Then I'm going to be requiring 1 cup of coconut milk. You can use the milk, the coconut packet, or you can use fresh coconut milk. This is some salt to taste. Then I require some haldi or turmeric powder, about 1 teaspoon, half a teaspoon of pepper powder, 1 teaspoon of cumin or jeera powder, and 1 teaspoon of coriander powder. I also require 6 cloves or lavang. Then I have 7 cloves of garlic, which I've chopped very fine, 1 inch of ginger chopped very fine, half a tomato chopped very fine, and 1 small onion chopped very fine. Also 1.5 teaspoon of white vinegar. Now I list all of these ingredients down in my description box below. Now I just heated about 2 tablespoons of oil, and I just lightly like to fry the fish on both sides for half a minute or so. This not only flavors the oil with the lovely fish flavor, but it also makes the fish cook faster, and it just has a very good different type of a lovely taste to it. Try this out, guys. Instead of putting the fish directly in, just give it a little bit of a fry on both sides for half a minute each. Once that is done, just take out the fish and set it aside. And now we're going to add all the other ingredients. So we're going to start by adding the cloves of the lavang to the oil. Then we're also going to add our finely chopped ginger, garlic, and onions. Now we're going to fry all of this very well together. Now as this is frying on a low heat, keep an eye on it. We're going to mix up the powder masalas, that is the turmeric powder or the haldi powder, the coriander powder, the cumin powder, and the pepper powder. And we're going to add a little bit of water, about a tablespoon or two, and we're going to make a little paste of it. And then we're going to add this paste to our fried onions and ginger garlic. Then I'm also going to be adding about half a cup of water to this, and we're going to let this water come to a boil. So mix everything well. You can keep the heat on a little higher, medium to high, and just keep stirring and let the water come to a boil. Now once the water comes to a boil, we're going to add this coconut milk. Then we're going to lower the flame and we're going to just stir it. Then I'm going to add some salt to taste. Again, give it a good mix. And then we're going to add the tomatoes. So mix everything well again. And remember, keep the heat on low to medium. And now we're going to add the fish back to this mixture. Once that is done, we're just going to cover it up and we're going to cook it for about 2 to 3 minutes or till the fish is nice and cooked. Now you know that the fish is cooked because if you take a spoon or a knife and just cut one of the pieces gently, and if it really comes apart, that means your fish is ready. Now basa takes very little time to cook, and I personally like basa because it doesn't have many thorns. And now I'm just adding the vinegar and I'm going to let it cook for about a minute, and then I'm going to switch off the heat. And your kaldin is ready. I have tried kaldin with everything, with prawns, with kingfish, or surmai, and pomfret. All of them taste amazing, but I personally like basa. So now the heat is turned off and I just can't wait to dig in. So I have this rice cooking and I'm just waiting to have it. So here I've transferred the kaldin into a lovely serving tray or serving bowl. And I also have my rice all ready. I cook it the Goan way. I will leave a link on how I cook my rice, so you can check that link out by just clicking on it in my description box as well as my comments box. So it's time to serve. So here I have my rice, and now all I have to do is add this gorgeous kaldin, and I just can't wait to dig in. Well, friends, the fish is just cooked right, and the flavor of this kaldin is just mind-blowing. It's so light and so delicious, and it makes me so nostalgic because my grandmother, that's my dad's mom, and my dad used to make the best kaldin ever. And it just has a different flavor. For those of you who haven't had kaldin before, guys, give this a try. You can use any white-fleshed fish or prawns. And in fact, prawns goes very well if you add some okra or bhindi too. You just add about 4 or 5 okras or bhindis to it and let it cook. And it just tastes amazing. So I hope you like today's recipe. I hope you'll give it a try. And let me know in the comments box below how you liked it. I know basa is not the traditional way, so I might be getting comments from people saying, how can you put basa?